Hey everyone! So today we are going to learn how to do the Charleston, not to be confused with a Carlton. That's a little bit different. However, probably equally as fun. So the Charleston comes right out of the 1920s, the Roaring 20s, and it's been brought into modern dance with shuffling. In fact, it's one of the basic shuffling moves. So far, we've gone over running man and T-stepping, which are like the two basic moves, and then beyond that, Polly Pocket and rocking. Today is Charleston. In the spirit of the 1920s, I got on my saddle dance shoes right out of the 1920s, so can't imagine a more appropriate occasion for that. We're going to do it with music eventually, but first I'm going to show you the steps. This Charleston move, by the way, is excellent for the muscles in your butt, your hips. It's going to rotate your legs in ways that you're not used to. It's going to wake certain muscles up. When I first did this, I felt it the next day, but then you do it every day and it gets a lot better, and now I don't even feel it anymore because my muscles have adapted. So get ready for that. It's going to tone things in here that you're going to love, and it's a great cardio workout as well. Just like all of shuffling is a great cardio workout, but this move specifically because of the pivoting and twisting like this with your legs, you're going to hit muscles you didn't know you had, and it's going to make you feel better, make you look better, more toned, and make you move better, function better, which is always going to make you feel better. So without further ado, my website, orgasmicpathways.com. Orgasmicpathways.com. Choose your pathways. For this one, let's dance. Now, I'm going to turn around like so. My biggest pet peeve with instructional videos is the ones that do not turn around. They only give you a front view and a side view, and you can't really tell what they're doing. So, right side and left side. So here's what it looks like real quick. All right, so you can see when one leg goes up, it comes down and crosses. So let me turn back around. You'll get it from watching it. But basically, the first thing to do to get used to this motion is this. Toes out, 45-degree angle, and then back in to another 45-degree angle on the inside, or as close as you can get to it. Out, in, and then do it in two steps real quick like this. One and, one and, one and, one and once you can do that, do a couple counts. So 1 and 2 and, 1 and 2 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And just keep going. When you can reasonably, comfortably do that, then I think you're ready to go to the next step, which is going to be this. So once you got that down, you're going to take your right leg, bring it up like so, pointing your toe down. So you're going to be turning your right hip to the left, like this. So basically counterclockwise. It's very awkward at first. This move took me weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks to get this down. It's a huge neurological adaptation in the brain, sort of like Polly Pocket was, or is, and so is this, but just in a different way. So, right leg up, toe pointed down, and you're turning your hip counterclockwise or to the left. And then your other foot, the one that's down, this is where it gets really tricky and why it takes so long. But as this one comes up, your right leg is up and it's turning to the left. Your left leg is down and turning to the right as you come down. And then as you come down, it's going to do the exact opposite. So your right leg that's turned to the left as it comes down is going to turn to the right so that the toe is facing that way. So the toe goes from facing down to facing 45 degrees out that way. All the while that's going on, your left, or your bottom foot, your toe is facing to the right a little bit, and as your right leg comes down, that also is going to switch directions. It's going to go from the right, the toe is going to pivot to the left, like so. So you have this happening here. So your toes are coming in like this, then they go out, like that, and then they go out. Sort of like when we were practicing here, toes are in, out, Now they're in as the right leg is up. Now they're out. And your right leg is also crossing the center line of the body to go to the left. So the next step is to basically do that over and over. Get used to that motion right there. Don't switch legs yet. Just take your time, think about it, and eventually you won't have to think, I promise. And then eventually, do it in one quick count like so. One and, one and, one and then one and two and, one and two and. Maybe go up to 4 counts. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so let me do that one more time. Go up to 8. Just make sure we got it. Plus I kind of messed up on that one. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and. This is where I end up. So my toes are coming inward and my right leg is crossed over the center line of the body to the left. And then my left leg is to the right. So that's how that works. Now let's do the other side, because we got 2 sides, right? So again, we're starting, both toes are pointed forward. We're going to bring the left leg up. When we bring the left leg up, we're going to point the toe down, turning the left leg to the right with those toes pointed down. At the same time we're doing that, when we come up in this position, the bottom leg, the right leg, those right toes are going to pivot and go as close as we can, 45 degrees to the inside. So again, the toes are doing this as they're going into that up position. Basically the 1 count. So here's 1. 1, and then and is going to be and, just like on the other side. So 1 and. 1 and. This is actually very hard to do slow balance-wise. That's why I'm struggling. But it's necessary in the beginning to create that neurological adaptation in the brain. So this is also very brain healthy too. It's very good for your brain. Anytime you create new neurological adapters, new synapses in the brain, it staves off all kinds of dementia that people get when they get older, which is good for brain health. So try it again. 1 and. Working on our bodies, toning things up, and our brain. 1 and. 1 and 2 and. Very hard to keep my balance. 1 and 2 and 3 and. You progressively go up like this too. Let's do 4 now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3. Try that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and. Perhaps I should try that one some more. All right, now let's put them both together. The reason why I break this down from the beginning and take small incremental steps into this is to allow the brain time to neurologically adapt to this. And even still, it's going to take some time. It took me a couple weeks, no lie. And I'm so glad I did, because this is such a fun move. Especially when you get to the point where you get to turn your brain off and you don't have to think about it, you can just do it. It's so fun. Okay. So let's start on the right side here. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Very good. Now I'm going to face you so you can see what it looks like from the front. So here we go, starting with the right leg, which is going to be crisscrossed from your right now. So like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. My knees are reasonably close together. Sometimes I still have to remind myself of that. I mean, sometimes it looks cool if the knees are way out here. Maybe if I'm going to go into a T-step, that could look cool, right? But if we're doing a true Charleston, you want to keep the knees pretty close together, like so. Turn to the side, to the back again. Pretty cool, right? So that is the Charleston. Now I'm going to show you the classic way of doing it, and also the more shuffling way of doing it, and then we're going to intertwine the two, and then we're going to turn on some music to do this to and turn it into a little bit of a workout. Not that we're not already there in the workout. By the way, great stretches to do after this is going to be anything that mimics pigeon, where you stretch out the outer hips here. And I'll give you a couple ideas for that at the end of the video when we stretch. Okay, so here's what it looks like, the classic 1920s version. It's going to be, so you're going to get into position, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're basically stepping forward and then backwards, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's it. You can also do 2 like this. Whoops. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Or 3 if you're really good at counting, I guess. Let's try that out. 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. So basically moving forward and backward. The arms, what they typically did back then, they would sort of go back and forth like this. Like this would be this sort of movement right here. Let's see if I even remember how to do that, because I never do that socially anymore, but let's try it out. So when we're up in 1, there we go. I had to think about that to get it going. I guess we could do that too, right? You can also just have your arms straight, maybe have your hands out like you're palming the floor or something, you're sort of swaying back and forth. And then the old classic Charleston arms again. My favorite way of doing it, and I don't tend to think about this too much anymore, and this is a recent development for me of what to do with my hands. I've always struggled with that. So much going on down here, but I like to do kind of this motion here, like Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. I like that a lot, but let me give you a demonstration of different things you can do with your hands that I started doing recently that I really enjoy. It's just kind of expressive. So it's like this. Okay. The last thing there wasn't so much Charleston, but you get the idea. Just sort of feel it. And there's some ideas of things you can do with your hands. Okay. So now the more modern version with shuffling, they pretty much, instead of walking forward and then backwards, they are kind of staying in place. They're hopping and they're going super fast. It's almost like a hop. So it's like this. Sort of what I was doing in the very beginning already, so you've already seen it. Okay, that's in the later videos where you can, the Charleston is the base move for so many other moves. So is Running Man and Polly Pocket. Charleston is the foundation and the basis for endless moves. That's why it's a basic move to really get down. Okay, so in order to not move forward or backward, there has to be a little bit of a hop in there. And you can still hop forward if you want to, back, maybe to the side, doesn't matter. You can also do something with your foot, like let's say you're 1 and go back up with the same foot, behind, forward, until you switch to the next foot. You don't have to alternate. See that? Same foot. Now I alternate. Same foot. And then I did a cowtail, which I'll show in a future video. But that's another variation, which goes really well with Charleston. So I'm doing this, Charleston, cowtail, cowtail other side, 2 cowtails, wow. 3 on that side. So cowtail, I'm sure you can see where it got its name. All right, now we are gonna put a small sequence together, then we're gonna do it to some music and make it a workout, okay? All right, so we are going to do 4 going forward, the classic way, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 8 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Forward 2, 3, 4. Backward 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and that's the sequence. We're just going to alternate. 8 counts forward and backward, 4 up, 4 back for a total of 8, and then 8 count stationary, and just sort of repeat that. That alone is a gorgeous workout. You can do that in intervals, so like 1 minute at a time, 30 seconds at a time, 5 minutes, maybe a slower rate of 5 minutes, or just totally go for burnout in 30 seconds at a really high tempo, and just do that in intervals, like repeat that 8 times or whatever, and you got a workout. And then of course stretch, especially your outer thighs, which I will show you at the end of the video, so don't worry about that. So let's get on with, I guess, the workout. Let's put some music on. All right, good. The computer did not take long to wake up. We're going to start at 100 beats a minute. Actually, no, we're going to start at 90 beats a minute. 90 beats a minute. Here goes. 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Back, 2, 3, and 4. Stationary, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Forward, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stationary, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. Now we move on to 100 beats a minute. We're going to start by moving forward and then backward, stationary, alternating. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and forward. Right on, man. Let's move on. Whoops. Okay, now we're going to do 110. 110 beats a minute. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and go. And one more time through. Forward. Stay here. Burn it out, man. Burn it. What a workout. Right. We're going to move on to 120. We'll take a short break, get some water, let you recover. 120 is the minimum industry standard to build yourself up to being able to do with all the different shuffling moves, minimally 120 beats a minute. It'll take some time. All right. Feeling good and recovered? Another couple of seconds here. It's like high intensity interval training. Awesome. All right, I think we're good. 120 beats a minute. All right, we get a longer break. It's taking time to buffer. Let me reload it. Okay. 120 is up. Here we go. Let this settle in, sink in for a moment. I'm going to count to 8 and then we'll get started, okay? Here we go, 8 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, go. Sorry, guitar. You keep going, don't mind me. Be part of the training for your mental clarity. Okay, I'm back in the groove now. Okay, keep going. One, two. Okay. That was a workout. Not done yet. All right, now we're going to do 130, see who's with us still. Pick up my guitar. Sorry, baby. Mwah. I'll play you later tonight. All right. Okay. A little recovery after that. Interval training. Intervals are spaced out with little rest areas. Otherwise, it's not an interval. April 2nd, 2022, and it's snowing big giant snowflakes outside. It looks like a giant snow globe, and it's starting to stick to Kenosha, Wisconsin. April 2nd. All right. Okay. 130. Comment if you're, tell me what BPM you're able to last to. Was it 90, 100, 110, 120, 130? Let me know. This is the last one. It doesn't go higher than this for what I've got here. I'll count to 8 again and then we get started. Let this rhythm sink in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8. This is awesome. Wow. I can't believe I'm doing it this long. And I haven't missed a beat. Starting to get sloppy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. That was something. Okay, let me show you a couple of stretches. Get another sip of water. Bring your heart rate down. That was interesting. Charleston, in my opinion, is easier to do really fast than Running Man. And Running Man is the #1 most basic step in shuffling. Okay, I'm going to give you some different ideas now for a pigeon. So a pigeon can be on the floor, and I'll show you some non-floor versions too. We basically go down like so. My right leg is on the floor. My foot is kicked out. I'm squaring my hips to the floor instead of opening up. I'm squaring them. If you need to come up here, fine. If it's bothering your knee, do something else. But this is what I'm doing, so do what's safe for you. Just skip this all together if it doesn't feel right. And my back leg is straight. My top of my back foot is on the floor, so everything is squared out properly. And you can even come down like this and just feel it. You can go off to the side like so and feel it. And breathe deeply, big exhales and inhales. That's where you get the gains in your flexibility. And of course, we got to do the other side too. And I would stay down there longer, at least 40 seconds or so. I'm just sort of doing a demo right now. Other side as well. Back of the bottom foot is on the floor. Hips and shoulders are squared forward. My front foot is kicked out, sort of in an L shape. And I'm settling into that. So some other variations you can do. One more for the floor. Come down on your back. Hug your knees in like so. And then take your right ankle, place it over the thigh of your left leg. Reach through this hole and pull yourself in. Keep your head and shoulders to the floor. Big inhale, followed by a big exhale, and just pull. And you'll feel a nice stretch right along your outer hip, your outer butt. And of course, the other side too. Really nice full breaths. And again, stay there for a while if you need it. You probably do it, at least 40 seconds, a minute or so. Here's some other options. So standing up, if you have good balance, or if you got something you can hang on to, you're basically going to bend your knees, take your right ankle over your left thigh above your knee, not on your knee, and you can kind of push down like this. You go in prayer hands if you want. Sort of sit back into similar to a chair pose with one leg, with your other leg crossed over, and you'll feel a stretch here. If you want to go deeper, more advanced, put your hands down like so. Lower yourself to the floor, trying to keep a straight back or as straight as possible. And if you're still feeling good and you want to go further, you can go to the floor. Do it, make it an arm balance posture. See, my foot is off the ground. Both feet are off the ground now. So I'm balancing on my hands, and then come out of it in a controlled manner. And voila, I'm gonna do the other side now. And again, stay there longer if you need to. So again, we're here. If you're still feeling good, push down on that knee to get a bigger stretch. If you're still feeling good, put your hands down like so, and down to the floor, bending your knee more, keeping it straight back or as straight as possible. And then finally, balance on your hands. Keep your foot off the ground. And come back in a controlled fashion. Straighten the leg, oh yeah. Here's an option for a chair. This feels, all of us have sat like this before, right? Our legs crossed. You can do this and hinge forward, keeping your back straight. So just sort of hinge forward, push your knee down, pull your foot up. You can also get this guitar out of my way. If you can sit back into something and put both feet up on a chair or a couch like this, and then bring a leg up and pull that in like so. It's another option for you. Of course, the other side. So these are options on the chair, the couch, the floor, standing up. Anything that creates that motion where your leg is sort of doing that and stretching out this right here. That's what you want to do after the Charleston workout, because those are the muscles you just worked, and you want those to recover efficiently. So that's the end of this video. Orgasmicpathways.com is the website. Choose your pathways, and I hope you enjoyed that. So that pretty much covers the basics of shuffling. In prior videos, we've got Running Man and T-stepping, rocking, Polly Pocket. Now we got Charleston. Those are the basics. So in future videos, I'm going to start what they call cutting shapes, which is endless. There's just a few I know so far, but as I learn more and I become comfortable with them, I'll show you them. And also I'll start putting together some routines, some sequences, some choreographies to help you ultimately with freestyling, which is something I'm definitely still working on, the freestyle concept, but I've come a long way with it, that's for sure. So practice every day. That's how you get good at it, like with anything else, but especially this, because you're doing movements that you're probably not used to. So it's going to take some time to form those new pathways in your brain, those neurological adapters. It just takes daily practice, even if it's just 10 minutes a day. That's all it takes. Bye for now. Feel free to share this.